Send me away via subspace. Beam me a message from home. Cast me a hello in hollow. Tell me I'm not all alone. The corridors are narrow and the rations miss the mark as we fly like Xeno's arrow past the sparkles in the dark. I think of home and what I miss is picnics in the park. Oh, send me away via subspace. Tap me a line or two, because though we grow distantly, relativistically, I'm coming home to you. Who's the guy who can conquer death? That's Joe Hills. He plays for Nashville when he plays Minecraft. That's Joe Hills. That's Joe Hills.
Howdy, y'all. Joe Hills here, recording as I always do in Nashville, Tennessee. Good day to you, Eldon Rama, Billy Builds, Thunderstorm 10, Verpitas, as well as Nivnanius, and Free Vortex Wave and Hand Face person. Also, welcome to everybody joining us across all three streaming services that we are using today: Mixer, YouTube, and Twitch.tv. So, welcome. Welcome, Dylan Numbers. Welcome, Kara Sophia. We are probably going to jump right in. I was hoping to start this stream like 90 minutes ago. The reason I don't actually pre-announce my streams is because a lot of times my wife will be like, hey, I'll be home like real soon or whatever, so you can go record at this time. And then she'll send me a frantic message going, Microsoft Word ate my paper. I'm trying to figure it out now. There's a bunch of people here frantically trying to help me. So we'll see when it gets fixed. So luckily she was able to recover an older version of the paper, so yay. But yeah, I'm running an hour and a half behind. Sorry about that, guys. So we're going to jump right in. Hey, welcome 16-Bit Couple. Thank you for the Patreon subscription as well. I didn't get a chance to respond to your message yet because you sent it while I was at work, but I did see that when I got home while I was making dinner. So yes, thank you very much to the 16-Bit Couple for their $10 a month Patreon sponsorship that they just initiated this very day, about 9 hours ago. Everybody who gives, I really appreciate it. You know what? Let me go ahead and just, real quick, I'm going to post that Patreon link in here before I get started. Patreon.com/JoeHills. We've had a few people, you know, it's kind of one of those things, with anything like that, you're going to have people kind of subscribe and unsubscribe over time. And I haven't done a big Patreon drive lately, so definitely the last few months there's been more decreasing than increasing. So it was really nice to see you guys jumping in there, 16-Bit Couple, setting a great example for the rest of the community. Although, obviously, if other folks can't afford to give, everything I do is basically free. I want everybody to... Anyone who gives me money is not necessarily buying something extra for themselves. They're trying to make sure there's... it increases the baseline for what I make for everyone. So, you know, I'm not saying like, hey, I'll sell you something for $30 a month. I'm saying, hey, if you give me an extra $30 a month, it's easier to make more things for everybody. And so, yeah, I really appreciate everybody. Kara Sophia is also one of our longtime Patreon sponsors. Anybody, yeah, who has given over time, I really appreciate it. But anyway, where were we? We are going to start, Kara Sophia points out in the Mixer chat, patrons rather than customers. That's right. I'm not selling Kara Sophia something. Kara Sophia is helping me make more things for you guys. So, anyway, thank you guys again. Let us go. I'm thinking what I want to do. In the last episode, I said I had a bunch of stuff I wanted to touch up. And I haven't had the chance to touch up all of it off camera. I actually did get some of it done off camera. Hey, welcome Maxwell Schmidt. Welcome Alan Gray. I do have a face. Hi! It's on my Twitter. If you go to... You guys can also follow me at twitter.com/JoeHills. And I post pictures of myself doing dumb stuff there all the time. Actually, I don't post as many pictures of myself as I probably... Well, actually, I post precisely as many as I should because I know I look dumb. So, I don't post too many. But yeah, twitter.com/JoeHills for updates on my face and other things. Okay, so here we are. Sun is setting over Castle Ravenloft once more. My profile picture on YouTube is also a picture of me. I've had people meet me in real life and be like, oh, I didn't realize that was really a picture of you. And I'm like, who did you think I had a picture of there? What? Why? I don't know. Okay, anyway, I'm having fun hanging out and chatting with you guys, but I think I need to switch to recording mode. Like I said, we're starting a little later than I would have liked, and so we got to buckle down like a chest on a traveling wagon. It's time for us to buckle down. Thank you, Alan Gray, for the host as well, and Sweeney Dunstan for the host. Hellbreath says, I didn't know you had Smurf heritage. I think the blue just looks better on camera. I think it helps suspend disbelief. Like, if you guys saw me without the color filters on, you'd be like, why is that guy so pale? And instead you're like, why is that guy so blue? But your brain accepts that I look blue because you're like, okay, we know for sure that's not what he looks like. But otherwise, it's just a bunch of bad lighting, and I don't know. So, yeah, anyway. Let's see. Cara Sophia says, I love how the reason changes every week. The original reason for this was because I had a really bad sunburn. But, Entity Minnesota says, have you tried more of a purple hue around the castle? Yeah, messing with the dials doesn't really pay off too well. Hellbro says, Joe, you're not pale. You barely hold water. Alrighty. And Alan Gray also says, I don't post pictures of myself because I look really bad. My problem is I never stop moving, so every picture of me, I'm in the middle of, like, doing something else, basically. And I'm not photogenic. Now there are some people who are like, oh, I hate how I look in pictures because I'm so ugly or whatever. I know I'm not ugly. I just know that I'm not photogenic. Constantly moving is not good for pictures. It's bad. So, yeah. Anyway. Focus. 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 Okay, so I think a tree is now hitting the window. Wonderful. Thank you, Distracting Tree. Here's what we're going to do. Thank you, Frankie. Frankie Heff says, who cares how you look as long as people like what you do? Well, I think I look great, and I think people like what I do. I think pictures of me look bad. That is a distinctly different thing. But anyway. Oh. Yeah, I did come up with something. I got to workshop it more. Sometimes I come up with a joke idea for, like, a song or something, and I, like, want to talk about it right away. But then I'm like, no. I got to get it right. Okay. Hey, welcome, Jez the Introvert. Welcome, John Willauer. We are about to get started in the castle here. Thank you for the like, number one Canon Gamers. Ian 5000. Yes, I remember you. Okay. So we're going to turn off the face cam and do our vocal warm-ups. I hit start recording. One of the reasons I turn off the face cam before I hit start recording and do the vocal warm-ups is the recording takes a little bit, sometimes it takes a minute to spin up, and so this way I don't accidentally cut off part of the footage that I need. So, there are strange things done in the midnight sun by the men who moil for gold. The Arctic trails have their secret tales that would make your blood run cold. The northern lights have seen strange sights, but the strangest they ever did see was a night on the marge of Lake LaBarge. I cremated Sam McGee. Now, Sam McGee was from Tennessee, where the cotton blooms and blows. Why I left his home in the south to roam round the pole, God only knows. He was always cold, but the land of gold seemed to hold him like a spell, though he'd often say in his homely way, howdy, y'all. Joe Hills here, recording as I always do in Nashville, Tennessee. Welcome back from that time skip. As you can tell, we got that carpet in, but you know what? That's okay. That's passable. What I'm really actually pretty happy with is I also came back in here and I vaulted that ceiling. You know, some people, they say, Joe, when you're going to vault something, that means you're going to jump over it. And I say, what if I'm going to vault a bank? Maybe that means I'm going to install, like, a safe with a giant dial on the side. And people might say, Joe, that's way too large a dial. Nobody needs that large a block of soap in a bank. And you know what? I'm just going to keep, moving to the tune of my own drummer. I don't know if drummers have tunes. I think they might have beats. Or that might be farmers from The Office, from Shroot Farms. I don't know. Not exactly an expert in that. Although, reviewing the book Curse of Strahd by Chris Perkins, based on I6 Ravenloft by Tracy and Laura Hickman, I did realize that this particular hallway here is described as having a dark ceiling. And so what I wanted to do is replace the bone ceiling on the second floor here with some kind of dark oak wood. I thought about using obsidian or dark concrete, but I felt like this would give more of the texture that we're going to want. Dang it, these little blocks here are just not doing a great job of falling through the cobwebs. Now, some of you guys might be like, Joe, if you're going to replace a ceiling, shouldn't you do the cobwebs, like, after that? And this sounds like many, many, many good suggestions you guys give me. Yes, that is precisely how it should be done, but it is also precisely just barely too late to do that now. And so, in the spirit of it being too late to do that now, we're going to route around the damage using our diamond pickaxe to strike at these bone blocks as though they are the heavens themselves, and we are a rocket harnessing the power of the rocket equation, using our fuel to try to propel our mass to an escape velocity of excitement, creativity, and fun. I think that's what rockets are for, mostly fun, not actually a NASA employee, but whatever. Anyway, so what were we going to do? We were just going to keep striking the ceiling until we had sufficiently replaced it with such wood that it might strike fear into the hearts of players. Part of the darkness on the ceiling being actually pivotal here from a gameplay perspective is I realized that there's a, hey, don't tell the players this, there's a trap on the ceiling in this hallway, and the ceiling has to be dark in order to properly obscure it. So if, we describe the ceiling as dark and it's bright, and then something jumps out at the players and attacks them, players are going to be like, what? We would have totally seen it against that ceiling. There's a kind of a cognitive dissonance thing there, where even though this is a really simplified concept of a ceiling, like this whole room, this whole space is very simplified, there's a certain level of suspension of disbelief we are willing to, let the players do on their own, but, you gotta meet them halfway on stuff like that. You can't just tell the players, hey guys, suspend disbelief, or, just telling people that, hey, this is a creepy hallway with certain sounds that you can't hear. Whoops, that's too low. Really regretting not actually bringing an axe. It's like in The Wizard of Oz, how Dorothy shows up in Oz, and she's like, dang it, I forgot my axe. And then she shows up in, that one forest, and there's the Tin Woodsman, and he has an axe. And then he helps her. Except it's not at all like that, because I'm just here alone in a terrifying vampire castle, and the only one here to help me is you, and you actually are incorporeal. Or are you corporeal but achronological? Or, no, you guys are chronological, but you're asynchronous. By the time that you're watching this, it's in the past, thanks to the magic of time-shifted entertainment. Even Twitch.tv, you're time-shifting your entertainment by about 30 seconds. Mixer's got, their sub-second delay or whatever they're always talking about, but, dang it, it's still time-shifted. So, like the light of a distant star, you never really get to see me in action as I work. And unlike the Tin Man, who was actually physically present in Dorothy's, I was going to say terrifying fever dream, although I'm not sure if you would consider, there's some sort of play on Twister, terrifying Twister dream. Dang it, this is the worst cobweb. At a certain point, I can only blame myself. Okay, we're going to just come up here, start placing some cobwebs. Also, I'm kind of worried it might be too dark up here. That's the perfect way to do that. So we'll just throw in some extra torches. That's not the best way to do that. Actually, now that I'm looking at it, why don't we just do this whole thing from up here? Sometimes the best way to do things is to teleport into a wall, sidestep out of the wall, and then place a bunch of blocks that are otherwise unsupported over a large empty space that extends a great distance. So, and that's really the philosophy, or the approach, I would say, that we're using here. So, boom, 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 boom. Look at that. We are just taking care of this like it was business, despite not being very professional at all. So, that's an excellent approach as far as I can tell. So, what we're going to do next is we're going to take some of these logs here, go ahead and patch that. And then from there, it shouldn't be that hard to just come through and knock out the rest of these. So I think on the whole, this should greatly improve the character of this chamber and enable that suspension of disbelief that we spoke about earlier. You know? That kind of meeting in the middle, you know? It's Minecraft magic. Okay, so... Great, and then we'll just go ahead. You know, honestly, if these blocks are still weeping out of these webs later, that's not necessarily going to be the worst thing in the world. Okay, so we'll just pick all these up. There we go. Dark vaulted ceiling. That is not bad. You know, I kind of... Part of me wants to put in, like, replace half of these torches. Like, let's just pull out half of these. Is that actually still going to be too dark? Yeah, let's patch that real quick. Let's check this with the F3 thing. So, Latin, I think as long as it's above 8, well, that one's definitely 7 there. So, yeah, we're gonna need at least some torches in here, but maybe having them completely regular is not ideal. Yeah, this is still plenty of light. So then the darkest area really seems to be right here, which it doesn't then dip from 8 into 7. So, okay, yeah, we are in the clear there. This is going to be definitely the way to approach this. So, let's go ahead and check out another space that we can improve. Time skip! Hey, welcome Carlton C. We are just wrapping up a recording section of the video. Glad to have you, and thank you for the kind words. I know you guys say black concrete's better, but the thing is that it gives a little bit of a texture to it, and it's not supposed to be perfectly pitch black. It's just supposed to be dark. So I feel like the that really adds to that there. Now, that's K27. Now, when we jump up, there's actually the next story up. The Hall of Webs. Yeah, I don't think that's worthwhile. Okay, so just kind of looking at this, I do think it might be worth putting in the actual in the belfry. So let's see if we wanted to do that. I think we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna eat some potatoes real quick, and then we're gonna fly around. What color shirt am I actually wearing? I'm wearing a teal shirt. It shifts all the hues. More bats for the belfry. So let's see. Let's get a good view of the belfry from over here. Whoops. Motorcycle Man 10 says, is Hermitcraft going to be okay? I barely seen anybody making videos. That's because everybody has a million plans for Season 6, but we can't really start on them until they fix some of the bugs in the new version of Minecraft. We are at the whims of the people. A lot of people are complaining that the stream's set to 18 plus on Mixer. I can try and change that, guys, if it's... do you think that's important? I don't know if that actually is important, but okay. Like, I think most children just change it themselves anyway. I don't remember. It's really hard to change it in Mixer. You have to, like, click, like, 8 things, which is really different from playing video games in the middle of the stream. Okay, I think I fixed it, guys. Okay, so... what are my plans for Season 6? They are secret. A little secret. But I will say one of my plans for Season 6 is many of the... well, I can't speak for many of the hermits. I do not have any plans to be building a base anytime soon in Season 6. I'm going to be a lot more nomadic, and I'm going to be building a lot of different smaller projects. I have an insane list. Let me just... okay, so I'm not saying that I'm actually going to make all of these things, but if you want to hear some insane things from my Season 6 notes, is everybody ready for this? let me see if I can find this note. Okay. Okay, so my notes for season 6 are things like masks. Look into World's Fair concepts. Permanent underclass pun with basement schoolroom? A javelin that has struck the earth. Bunkers. Let's see. Iconic Deadwood locations. Crashed TARDIS. Giant Mario vine into the clouds. Notable places from Catch-22 by Joseph Heller. Giant Groundhog Day clock. So, yeah. So that's the thing, is after doing this huge build, I'm just like, I need to do... And these are not cryptic because I'm, like, trying to hide the true meaning of what I'm doing from you guys. These are just like, oh yeah, what should I make? And I'm just... These are the things I wrote down. Let's see. If I was going to do something big, I'm tempted to do Castillo de San Marco, but I'm thinking I might just save that for season 7. Let's see. Vic's Casino from Star Trek Deep Space Nine. I'm gonna save some of these. Let's see. Anything by Evan Dahm. Anything from Jodorowsky's Dune. Possibly Tim's studio from Tim's Vernier. East Berlin apartment from Goodbye Lenin? ? Smash Brothers stages? ? Pirate radio station. Big TVA projects. So anyway, I have no idea which of these things I'm actually gonna do. The Little House for... Okay, Karis, I actually skipped an entire list of things from The Good Place that include Eleanor's house. Yeah, that's... So that's the thing, is I was thinking that early on I am going to need a place to store some building materials and stuff. So yeah, Eleanor's house from The Good Place is definitely on the list. How far are you in The Good Place, Karis? Me Forever says, don't you need at least a small base? Well, the thing is, Me Forever, part of me is just like, well, I could build like a giraffe hoof sticking out of the ground and put some chests inside and just say like, that's my small base. Like, it does... Technically, anything can be a small base if you dig a hole and put a ladder down and then just put in some chests. H.R. Geiger art. Exactly, Jake Newman. There is so much cool H.R. Geiger art from Jodorowsky's Dune. It is an amazing documentary about a film that never actually got made. But I'm going to type out... Because Jodorowsky is hard for people to spell if they're not familiar with it. I'm posting this in all 3 chats. Jodorowsky's Dune. Yeah. Karis, it seriously only gets better. The Good Place is one of my favorite shows ever. Like, ever made on television. Like, I watch it all the time. Helbreth says, with an ender chest and shulker boxes, you can carry a lot of stuff with you. Yeah, but the problem with shulker boxes is the end has to be clear of dragons, right? And the dragon's hard to kill when you first get it. Bookworm says, what color's your shirt? Cyan. But I've huge shifted the whole thing. Haven Empire. Sorry, I don't give shoutouts to servers, but thank you for watching. Carlton says, The Good Place is a good show. Entity MN says, huge fan of the books, I'll check it out. So yeah, Jodorowsky's Dune is basically about this like insanely good director. Had all these really successful projects with very small budgets. And so a bunch of Hollywood studios came to him and said, hey, if we gave you an unlimited budget, what could you make with it? And he says, I want to make Dune. And they're just like, what is Dune? And he's just like, I'll get back to you. And he just spent this insane amount of money working on this a film version of Dune that never actually got finished. And so the documentary is just exploring like all of the crazy stuff that he had to do to get like the film ended up being $200,000 short, and they just shut down production and closed it up. But yeah, anyway, it's a really good documentary. Am I blue because I'm cold? I just like it. Okay, so I think we're actually going to switch night into day so that we can actually record this feasibly. But I still hold out hope that they will make, you know, some form of Jodorowsky's Dune into an actual motion picture one day. But yeah, he had Salvador Dali lined up to be the Emperor. He had oh, what's his name? Well, this is gonna drive me mad. Orson Welles signed on to the project. Like, yeah. But if you're curious, like, the movie is full of things like, you know, one of the reasons that we ran out of money was because I knew what actors I wanted. And they would always say, yeah, Salvador Dali, the painter. Because Salvador Dali was Spanish, too, and so was Jodorowsky. Or at least I think he was. But anyway, so, Jodorowsky's just like, you know, we would go to someone that we really wanted for a role. Like, I wanted Salvador Dali to be the emperor. And they couldn't just say no, but they would want to have their artistic influence involved. And so they would say, oh, I'll do it, but only if the emperor can have a pet burning giraffe next to him in every scene. And so Jodorowsky is just like, we can do that. We can do that. And of course then Salvador Dali is like, well, I guess I have to do it then. And so then Jodorowsky's on the phone with all his special effects guys, and this is like back in the 70s. This is before computer graphics. And Jodorowsky's going to his special effects guys going like, okay, so how do we safely burn a giraffe continuously? And they're just like, where in the book is that? That is not in this book. I've read this book. And he's just like, well, I told Salvador Dali that he could be in the movie, but he said he wanted to have a burning giraffe in every scene he's in next to him. And all the effects guys would just be like, ah. Yeah, they burned through so much money on this. And so many giraffes. Anyway. No, as far as I know, no giraffes were actually harmed. No one else is online right now. Okay, where was I? Alrighty, bye, John Willauer. Have a good night. Hey, welcome back, Ivanless. Animatronics like the first Jurassic Park with flame-resistant outer coat. Well, keep in mind, Jurassic Park was in the 90s. I don't know how Salvador Dali feels about giraffes. I think he was just being kind of obnoxious. Okay, so I'm going to turn off the camera, and we're going to close out this episode. Start recording. How now, brown cow? Unique, New York. An angry man. There's my story. The bitter rancor of Achilles, prince of the house of Peleus, which brought 1,000 troubles upon the Achaean host. Many a strong soul it sent down to Hades and left the heroes themselves to the dogs. Left the heroes themselves a prey to dogs and carrion birds, while the will of God moved on to fulfillment. Hey, welcome back, Nemo the Fish. I'm about to start recording. Anyway. As we close out this episode, one last thing I wanted to do was to check out this little belfry here. Here. I can't talk. Before we close out this episode, I wanted to think a bit. Ding dong, ding dong. We got a belfry over here, but there's no bell. So you know what? How are you going to hear it when the hour changes? Wait, do hours actually change, or do they pass? Or do they fail? I guess it depends on how much they study. Anyway, I was thinking I could come up here in this belfry and maybe put in some sort of bell just to actually, you know, fill things out a bit. I haven't put too much thought into exactly how that should go because, you know, that's, once again, thinking. But here's what I kind of figured. If I take some bone blocks and kind of come out in the middle here and just put a gold thing where you can see it kind of in the windows, that might be good enough. Now, I've got about 8 gold blocks right here. So that makes me think what I should do is go down a little bit lower with the bone blocks. Oh, that's going to be hard to do. Okay, so here, we'll come out like that to there. And then that's now centered. We've centered the bell in there. And, uh-oh. Wow, 8 gold blocks is not as tall as I was hoping originally. But you know what? I think that that should still be pretty okay. That's not the ideal way to hang a bell. Whoops. But you know what? I think that'll hold. There we go. The core concept, if you're down here and somebody says this is a bell tower, you look up and you see the bell. Now, you're also supposed to see the chain hanging down. So you might say, Joe, how are you going to do that? Well, let me tell you something. I brought dirt with me. Like any good Minecrafter, I am completely ready to pillar up here slightly higher than I actually needed to, and then slightly lower than I intended to, creating kind of a fool in the shower effect, except instead of about economic impact, I'm just doing a bad job at ringing these bells. Now, some people might say, Joe, is this bell a trap? Are players supposed to ring this bell and then, you know, come to harm? It's like, well, they're not. Players aren't really supposed to do anything. But they are welcome to ring this bell if they want to see what happens. So, that's just, you know, one more thing that we've got in our toolkit here. So, let's run back through here and replace this. Boom. Great. I want to see how that bell looks from the outside. Hopefully it looks pretty okay, because I don't really have a good way to get more gold easily. I know that somewhere on the server there are, what do you call them? Gold farms with like zombie pigments and stuff, but can you see it? Oh, you know what? Those black windows really do a good job of obscuring the contents. But yeah, it definitely gives a sense that there's something inside there that it was lacking before. Let's see, maybe if we come out further this way. It's hard to say. I mean, if you have Optifine enabled, you can see it, which I do, incidentally. But, yeah, it's good. Okay, great. Well, there we go. From Red Sky Bay at dawn to dusk, I don't know what I must say to end this episode today. So, let us play. Well, you know what, actually, I am thinking about it. You know, I'm having fun, even though these are not dramatic changes we're making to the castle at this point. Every room we just slightly improve is actually going to make a difference. Oh, speaking of which, one other thing I did off camera was I came in here and I lowered the ceilings in these little chambers. See? Not dramatic. This is not the most exciting part of the castle for people to get involved with, you know, in the actual gameplay. But it's still, if a player does end up in here, I want it to feel more like a reasonable kind of space. And, you know, because, once again, your terrifying vampire murder maze should have a certain level of realism that allows the suspension of disbelief. So, yeah, just taking these little hallways here and lowering the, you know, ceiling just a little bit just makes it feel more claustrophobic in all the right ways. So, anyway, let's go ahead and hop out. Where's the best place to hop out here? Right there. Boom. Whoa, check that out. Perfect ender pearl shot. Anyway, let's go ahead and see. Can we actually see the bell from here? No, that roof is obscuring it. I can see it now. Boom. Okay, see there. Whoa. Look at that. Perfectly executed glide. All of my Minecraft instincts are kicking in just in time for the end of the season. Anyway, until next time, y'all, this is Joe Hills from Nashville, Tennessee. Keep adventuring. Okay, so stop recording. So we're going to turn the face cam back on. Okay, stream, thank you guys so much for joining me today. That's really all the footage I needed. I'm not going to be doing any streaming tomorrow night because I've got some holiday plans for the 4th of July. And so I definitely will not be streaming tomorrow night or during the day on the 4th. So don't wait up. Although if you do want updates on where and when I stream, you can make sure to follow me on the streaming services you're currently watching me on. And I'm going to post my Twitter account again. Whoops. If I paste Jodorowsky's Dune in a lot, that's not going to help. So let me post my Twitter, twitter.com/JoeHills. And once again, you can also help me out financially at patreon.com/joehills. Boom. And we're just going to paste those in there. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the stream, as always. And then this episode will be live in a few days. Well, maybe a day. I don't know. 4th of July schedules are crazy. But anyway, I'm using my sky camo. Let's go ahead and turn on some music for you. Till next time, stream, this is Joe Hills from Nashville, Tennessee. Keep adventuring.
Send me away via subspace. Beam me a message from home. Cast me a hello in hollow. Tell me I'm not all alone. The corridors are narrow and the rations miss the mark as we fly like Xeno's arrow past the sparkles in the dark. I think of home and what I miss is picnics in the park. Oh, send me away via subspace. Tap me a line or two, because though we grow distantly, relativistically, I'm coming.